So now let's go ahead and implement the cancel button. And the cancel button is going to look like the submit button, so it's going to be on the right side. So let's start just by copying the submit button, and we'll call this the cancel button. And this is going to have a custom action. So both submit and cancel have custom actions associated with them, which is why we're not treating them like our other buttons. And then this one's going to be a cancel and no command. But you'll notice I use double quote here for the command. So the command is not undefined, it's just empty. And that's why we still can hover over the button. And then we use the cancel ping. And then we'll add that to our toolbar right before we add the submit button. And then we'll create a cancel function, so submit So here's what we're going to do. When we start editing, we'll grab the current inner HTML of our editor, and then if they hit cancel, we'll restore that before going away. So create a var for backup, and then when the user clicks the edit button, we'll set backup equal to editor.innerHTML, and then when they hit cancel, we'll set editor.innerHTML equal to backup, and then we'll do most of the rest of the stuff we do here. We won't call the callback function because it hasn't been successfully submitted. But the rest of this is the same. So cancel button behaves like the submit button, except it doesn't call the callback and it does restore the HTML. Let's go ahead and reload and see if it works. So we have our submit button and our cancel button. And let's go ahead and type some text. And this time we'll submit. And we get our type some text at the bottom. And now we'll type some gibberish, but we'll hit cancel. And, oh, I forgot to attach the event listener, and also I want the cancel to be on this side and submit on the other side. So let me change the order that I'm adding these buttons. So submit goes on the outside and cancel goes on the inside. And then I need to add an event listener for my cancel button. Which calls cancel. So try that. Submit, and then edit, and cancel. And it goes back to hello world. Cancel. And we should be good. Everything that we've done so far is local to this particular box other than calling document.exec command. So what that means is that I should be able to have an edit box here that I can edit, and then this should work exactly the same. So a different edit box, and if I select a word and bold italic, and then submit, everything works the same way. I can edit this one again, bold. I can even leave this one up and start editing here, and type some text, and then if I hit submit, I get that text, and then if I hit submit, I get this text. So everything's working independently, which means I can have as many edit boxes on the window as I want. But there's one little issue here, which is that I don't really know right now which edit box is calling the submit function. So let's go ahead and look at that. In my RTE.html, you'll see that I'm passing in this function, my callback function, and every time I hit the submit, this gets called with the HTML. But I also want to know which text box it was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another closure outside of this function and then call that closure passing in the current box ID. So you'll see how this works in a second. So I'm going to create a function that returns a function and then call that function to get a function. So a function that takes an ID, and now I can refer to ID inside of here. So I'm going to say so I'm going to add a line to the top that says which edit box it was, and that's going to refer to this ID. And then I want to call this function to return this function. So I call it and I pass in boxes of I.id, and then I close off my RichText Editor, and that's it. So let's see if I did that right. It's a little complicated. So I have an error. So yeah, I got my syntax a little off. So let's go ahead and see where I'm getting this error here. Line 13. So, oh, I want to return the function. So this returns the function when it's called. I might need a semicolon here. Let's see. Oh, so that seems to work. Okay. So it's pretty close. So this is box 1, submit. And it says editor ID edit 1 is box 1. And this is box 2. Editor ID edit 2, box 2. Box 1, box 2.